Full time, Liverpool 3, Benfica
7.
3-6-4 on aggregate. It was Liverpool through to the semi-finals of the Champions League.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, sorry, left you hanging there. Well, that was tense. More tense than it needed to be. Very much. I think it was even a mixed performance. I thought it was a really good game of football. Now we've had this conversation for the past few weeks, Errol, on certain shows and watch-longs and stuff like that. You can be frustrated with performances, but ultimately,
It's the result.
stop worrying about performances until you get to a situation where you're not winning games of football, you're not progressing to semi-finals of Champions League football. A heavily rotated squad. I asked questions of it before it started. He then introduces some of the big guns around the hour mark to see the game out. But we said it on the team news, we said it before the game started. Look at the games last night and the way that they played out. You're in the quarterfinal. You know, these teams were in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. You're not playing mugs. Forget about the names. Think about the merit these teams have earned and where they should be.
Give them
There's no easy games at this stage in the Champions League. And it's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason.
Yeah, and I think Liverpool have done well tonight because I think the incentive was there and it was clear in the performance from Benfica. I think he had a really good game, not Darwin Núñez, as you can see on our screen now. When you look at it on the balance of play, tonight they turned up with that game plan to upset the party. Don't let it be a foregone conclusion that Liverpool are going to walk to a semi-final. And the added incentive that, you know, we've got a mountain to climb against playing Liverpool, but, you know, we'd probably back ourselves against Villarreal if in some miraculous way we can get past this this obstacle. And they gave it all. It was kind of reminiscent of Chelsea's performance. Obviously it doesn't go to extra time, but the idea that they left nothing on the pitch, they kind of gave it their all. There was a couple of offside goals as well. They had really good movement. I think that was probably one of the most impressive things up top. I still think they was really clinical. The few chances that they was able to create, they worked. Alisson tested them, all got the shots on target and scored. The difference tonight though for me was the forward options. I was from the outset looking at that team and I looked through it, and where I was picking holes was the midfield area. But you know, I think you're right. The cohesion between the back four, it's a back four and a goalkeeper that have never played with each other this season. They just haven't. And at times you could tell. I thought individually they had some good moments, they had some standout moments, but as a collective, I don't think they was all singing on the same hymn sheet. And they let themselves down a few times. I think the amount how many times in the end was they caught offside? Sorry?
Four was...
Four, no, offside in general, all throughout the game.
No, I think it was 4 offsides, but I don't think that includes the offside goals.
Okay,
which they had
three
off,
so it would have been like 7. So, like I said, 7 from early doors. So that was seen to be their methodology as to how they was going to try and get through us. Let's play those balls through the lines, let's play them quick, let's play them early, let's have that movement up top to try and punish Liverpool. And they almost executed their plan perfectly. In that sense, it is fine margins. It's again, as you said, mate, it's about the result. At this point now, we're in the semi-finals of an FA Cup on Saturday, we're in the semi-finals of a Champions League, and if you was looking at the Premier League as a cup competition, you'd say that we're almost in the semi-finals of that, really, pushing into the latter stages. So we're doing really well, we're on course, we've already got 1 trophy for the season. You can't grumble.
No, and the bigger picture of this, fucking hell, 9 minutes of added time in the game, by the way, which I think is over. Atletico Madrid are out, and Simeone is giving it the beans. The bigger picture of this, of course, is, you know, we're talking about Manchester City, and I mentioned before, heavily rotated squad. You bring some of the players on. Van Dijk didn't get a sniff in that game. Mane comes on with 20 odd minutes to go. Players that are going to need minutes under the belt have done so. I think Kostas Tsimikas will be someone that will be highlighted by fans and people in the comments as well. It's the perfect balance of the bigger picture, isn't it?
Yeah, and you've got to have that in mind. I think Klopp's team selection today kind of alluded to that. I think you know, you kind of picked that up early doors, really, in the sense that you made the point that when you make this many changes, is it because the bigger picture now starts to take precedence and you are going to need to find time and availability for players to get chances before now and the end of the season? And if you're in a commanding lead in a cup tie, you've got to freshen it up a little bit, but it might not be a case of you want to just do it to freshen it up and give players minutes in the legs. It might be a case of resting some big guns so that they come back fresh and can start to hit a little bit of form. So I think you got that 100% spot on.
And for balance as well, because I know I said before, like, stop worrying about performances if the results are coming, but there's eventually going to come to a point where what people's concern will be is a bit like Manchester, the first half against Manchester City, the performance wasn't there, you'll get punished. We're getting further and further into these competitions.
It's going to hurt more now.
Exactly. We're going to come up against tougher opposition than Benfica. Benfica consider themselves unfortunate for me to have 3 disallowed goals ruled out. And then we sat here and we could be out.
I know.
But the silver lining is, it's fine when you do that and you're through. But the only difference is if you learn from those mistakes and the way that they're playing. And the hard thing is, because you said it before, that's how Liverpool play. That's where Villarreal will look to hit Liverpool, where Man City will do it when we play Man United, Everton, Newcastle in the coming weeks, and I think we've got Aston Villa coming up as well. That's where teams look to hit Liverpool. But what I will say is I don't think that back four will play together again.
No, they won't. No. Not between now and the end of the season. I can't see it. But yeah, it's a weird one. I think what you said there kind of resonated with me, because I genuinely thought, if at this point now the performances don't start coming back, it will hurt that little bit more if we get knocked out of a semi-final, because the warning signs have been there effectively for us. We sit and we analyse and we watch and we're intent with it on a regular basis. So if we can see it, surely Jurgen can see it, surely his backroom staff can see it. If they can see it, surely there are messages being said to the team. They're trying to get that out there, that it needs to change. Either the intensity needs to be more, or they need to stay more switched on. Whatever it is, they are trying to drill that into these lads between now and the end of the season. It's just whether these lads can enact that and raise the bar and raise the standard again. Because, as we said before, the standard in terms of doing what it takes and requires to get the job done has been there consistently now, and it's been solid. But is there a next standard that we can raise it to, where it's the balance between the two? Because there are going to be, particularly times in the semi-final where, we're 2 games away from a final now in the Champions League, 180 minutes. We're probably going to be a better ball-playing team than Villarreal, but there might be points in that game where it's not going our way. There might be decisions, they might get strokes of luck, they might catch on the counter and perfectly time it, and then become really solid and resolute. If they become solid and resolute after they've gone 1-0 up, say, for example, and they get there compact, are we going to have the quality? Are we going to have the persistence? Are we going to have the energy to kind of unpick the locks? And that's where I feel like it needs to be drilled into these players, that the performance, we need to set ourselves right on the right foot and make then the performance follow afterwards. And if we get the performances right between now and the season, a byproduct will be the results. Whereas I don't think going into it being like, let's just get the result right, because you can't guarantee you're going to get the result right without performing. No,
100%. Just one comment here from Bradley Gowan, says 6-7 changes and people moaning about getting to the Champions League semi-final. Can tell he wasn't here before 17-18, which I think is a really good point. Like, just be happy that you're in the Champions League semi-final. Like, I know it's not you, but I'm just mean a lot of people. Like, be concerned with the performance by all means, and
but that's not our job as fans. At the same time, it's not our job to be concerned.
Fucking be happy. So what's that? An FA Cup semi-final at the weekend. We're into the Champions League semi-final. We won 1 trophy, and the title race is still on.
Fighting on all fronts.
How many times can you say that as a fan? And as we get further and further into these competitions, the harder the fall is. If you get knocked out, it's gonna hurt more. But that's what these next couple of weeks are all about. And I think the important thing to remember about the team lineup and this is the amount of people that were arrested for this game, and I think we'll see rotation come into play in the next couple of weeks, but I don't think we'll see heavy rotation like that.
No.
And I guess what I said before, Tsimikas, great, had an amazing game. There's a couple of shouts for the man of the match for him. Konate, again, brilliant. I know he conceded a few goals, but that's just, a back four that hasn't played together. Joe Gomez, when does he get another game in the next couple of weeks? The midfield 3 that's probably not played together for ages. Then you change most of that midfield, and then you got options in attacking talent. Liverpool, we've been asking for squad depth in this squad for so long. You can't get this far into four competitions if you don't have the squad, or you do have the squad and you don't use it. It's got to be rough for the next few months. Next few weeks, sorry.
Just got to ride it out.
Just got to ride it, and worry about the performances later on.
Yeah, like we're in the rapids right now. It's going to get rocky. Do you know what I mean? All that smooth water, like that's gone now. We are in the thick of it, and It's nerve-wracking because I've not seen it in my lifetime,
yeah.
and the pressure and the we're in a position where we can dream about it all.
Yeah.
It's realistic to say at this point, at the beginning of the season, if you turn around and say, oh, we're going to win the Champions League, the FA Cup, the League Cup and the Prem.
Like after the season we had last season.
Yeah, after that, you're like, well, you're deluded. Yeah. You need to be checked into a mental institution.
Sorry, think where you were sat this time last year, praying to get into fucking top 4.
And waiting for Allison to pop up against West Brom with a fucking a winner. Like, these things are only possible now because we've got ourselves to this position. So that's why it does feel angst, and I feel like because I've seen a catalogue of Liverpool's good performances under this Klopp side, you're just thinking, and it doesn't happen because it's football and there's the reality aspect that comes into it, but if we could rediscover, and certain players could rediscover form from, and you could pick the seasons and just meld it into one, you just know all of a sudden we just become an unstoppable force. But that's not the reality. This evolution of this Liverpool side is going to have to find something that we haven't seen in the next 4 to 5 weeks that is going to define them as a squad, and we've just got to be, as I say, we're just getting dragged along for the ride, mate.
Yeah, it's one player I just want to talk about before we head off and we start doing the rest of the post-match content is Roberto Firmino, because you just reminded me there of that. He was summed up by missing that chance in the first half, getting slated by
me,
a lot of people included on the internet, and Errol in the studio. And I said I think I generally thought he just overthought what he was doing, and he's not expecting Grimaldo to come in with a fantastic interception. But then goes and scores 2 goals. So everyone's going, he shit him. This is last season. Get him sold, which I saw in some of the comments. Like, don't give up on individual players that are in this game. Like, they must be fucking knackered, but it's not as if they're not trying to win every single game in Liverpool. We're plus 40 games deep into the season.
Yeah, and all of them are going to have to chip in between now and the end of the season. And you said it, really. Like, Bobby doing what Bobby did today and turning up and poaching and getting 2 goals. They're the goals we've expected and we've come so accustomed to seeing from Jota. But Bobby's just put himself back in that conversation that if I need to go and pick my front 3 for big games, I can flick between Salah, Mane and Firmino, Salah, Mane, Jota, Salah, Diaz. They are all, Salah, whether even by a dip in his form standards, is still always going to be a shoe-in on that right-hand side. So there's 4 players for 2 positions that are all scoring, contributing, assisting. And
you made that point before about what Unai Emery's going to do when he's stuck at Liverpool. He's got us much more to worry about this Liverpool side.
Yeah.
He how he can exploit Liverpool.
Yeah, 100%. Like, he'll be looking at this Liverpool side thinking, again, Harvey thinks he'll be thinking, there's so much, we just have to do what we can do best and try and counter them and just be really compact. Because if I overthink how we can stop these players, it'll just come and bite me in the arse, because there's just going to be no chance, because you don't know which one Klopp will throw in the mix. Like, especially away from home, you don't know who we'll just fancy for it. Get up for a big European away game, go on, lad, here's your chance. Still think, the likes of Diaz is an unknown quantity as well, so he could always be that secret weapon that we can just roll out as and when on the hour mark, whatever it might be. But we're frightening. When we get it right up front and when we lock the door behind us, we are absolutely frightening.
And to the point where we made about the games last night should be a kick up the arse and motivation for tonight's game. Tonight's game should be motivation for Villarreal, for these Liverpool players, and going to the semi-finals. Like, I know
we ain't fucking about.
No, exactly. And fucking say that to Bayern Munich. I think there was a clip from Bayern Munich's official TV thing of going, this tie's pretty much done. You can't think like that. I'm certainly not going to do it and underestimate them.
Barcelona have made that mistake before. Real Madrid nearly made that mistake last night. Like, these are the warning signs that just ring around in your ears. And to be fair, they'll probably still have nightmares tonight, those Liverpool players, from some of the things that have happened, and they'll be thinking, we can't. And I think as well, historically, Liverpool in the Champions League have always had this underdog mentality and complex where we will rise to the occasion. Very rarely do we get the luxury. Maybe in around the last 16, we've had Porto a couple of times and we fancy ourselves, but we've been a good footballing side in those years. Very rarely do we get to a semi-final when Liverpool are nailed on to be the favourites. We're in that position now. That's a different pressure.
Except when we played Villarreal in the semi-final of the Europa League.
It wasn't the semi, that was the quarter. And then we got Atletico in the semis and got beat.
You know when we won it?
No, we didn't. We got beat by Atletico.
We lost it. Did we not play Dortmund in the quarters? Dortmund in the quarters, then Villarreal.
Oh, yeah. That was that with Klopp. Not, I was thinking earlier. Yeah, you're right.
You said that a few times tonight, haven't you?
You really have.
I really have. Right, sound.
Where's Steve? Steve, come back, man. He showed me up this one. I told you he was rolling out the big gun.
Oh, yeah.
I told you. I did say that, I was right about that at least.
Massively stroked my ego that yesterday or this morning, whatever the fuck it was. Loads more post-match content covered. You want to get involved, you can do so by being a Club Legend member. You can get involved in our Discord chat if you're there. I should have sent you the link already. If you're a YouTube member, you can also get involved in that as well. And there is a tweet out on the Redmen Twitter account, so Errol's going to do your fan reactions. I've already put a tweet out there. I did a little meme as well. I had ready, which I think you'll appreciate.
Yeah.
That's
saved in the drafts.
I made it a few years ago, and I remembered it today. So whenever I had a break this afternoon, I just saved it to be recent, so I can just ping it out this afternoon. So yeah, Errol's going to do your fan reactions. I'm going to do the player ratings, and then we're going to go over to the website over here and do the instant match reaction as well. So yeah, go over there. There should say join, or here should say join. Get yourself subscribed. We're going to do that probably about an hour's time. And as well as that, as instant match reaction, there'll be more in depth. There'll be an hour-long show. The final word tomorrow with Paul Steve Plunkett and Sam Walker. The build-up show for Man City will be tomorrow. The op preview for Man City will be tomorrow. The starting 11 show will be tomorrow, and a hour-long journal insight with Neil Jones talking about Liverpool's transfer business, contract latest, and all that stuff. All available in video and podcast form. That's that every week. You're going to get the business end of Liverpool season, and hopefully what will be a historic season for Liverpool. So you want more of podcasts, you want more video, you want more interviews, you want more documentaries, you want pre and post match content. Everything is over there on the website. As I said before, you can get it in video. If you travel a lot, you're in the car, you walk to work, all that kind of stuff, you can get it in podcast form. Download it to your native podcast app. It's £5 a month. Just give it a try. If you don't like it, sack it off. We will be back very shortly with the fan reactions, so stick around. Thank you so much for listening and for watching, for all your likes, for all your support. Enjoy the fact Liverpool are in another Champions League semi-final, the third under Jurgen Klopp. Just be dead happy.
Happy days.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want even more Redmen TV goodness in your lives, head on over to redmenplus.com right away. You'll get more in-depth analysis, more features, more documentaries, more interviews, basically more Liverpool goodness. It's like Netflix for Reds. You will love it. We love it. Head on over to redmenplus.com and sign up for Redmen Plus.